The mission overall is to have everybody go and everybody come back. In the fire service, every morning, our number one goal on our rigs, whether we were on the ladder, whether we were on the engine company, or whether we were riding the rescue, or whether we were on a heavy technical rescue team, or on a hazmat squad, our goal was to go, do our job, and come back. Everybody come back safely. When we leave, from the time we leave over here in Window Rock to the time we end up down in Houston and the time we come all the way back over here, we have to be cognizantly reminded about security. How safe are we going to be over there? And also on scene. That's the only part that's got me kind of concerned, is that we're not going to have anybody embedded with us unless we get somebody with law enforcement that wants to go with us, or somebody that has a licensed concealed carry license, which we'll talk about that here in just a minute. It says, unless authorized, do not take weapons. So never ever assume that this is going to be allowed to go on a deployment. Because you and I both know this can do a lot of damage to people. Unless you have a legal license, and by the way, Texas is open carry. But I still don't think it's right for us to go walk around with weapons strapped on our side. So unless we get somebody with law enforcement, I would recommend that everything stays put. For those of you that don't know the scene over there and what we got going on, is that there was a whole lot of everything, the water came up, it created a lot of slick surfaces. So slick surfaces is the danger element for us today. The footing, your footing level, which is why we're going to talk about in a minute, why your boots are important. A lot of people say, well, I've got my tennis shoes and they got grip. They don't hold up very, very well. So finding yourself a good pair of boots, really easy to work in. If you want to go with the lighter weights or the all leather, that's your choice. But by all means, take your tennis shoes, because in your daytime and during your break time, or when we're not doing something, you want to be in something comfortable, because you don't want to be wearing a stinky pair of boots that you're going to be sweating in. But you need a good pair of boots, and that's paramount, okay? Hazardous materials. Somebody tell me what you think the hazards are over there right now with what we're going to see.
Mosquitoes.
Mosquito. West Nile. And West Nile presents like what? And then you get weak and fatigued and tired, and the next thing you know, they're treating your whole body and giving you all kinds of antibiotics, and guess what? You're down. It takes you about a year to recover from that. Dengue fever. Picked up these mosquitoes and brought them all with them. Guess where we have dengue fever in West Nile now? Southern New Mexico. You know what's going to be the dead giveaway? The fowl, the birds, are dead giveaways. If you see a lot of birds, which is why do you think that the federal government now is pouring a whole lot of money into spraying the affected area? I'm just making you aware of it, because it's all about safety. So, we'll talk about what you want. DEET, 35% or more. Mold. You'll see it. I've got one in my bag here. It's called an N95 mask. Everybody write that down. N95. Go down to, by the way, they have them at Walmart, because mold's going to be a big issue. I sent some pictures out. What's another hazard over there? It's going to take you down faster than anything. The things you can't see. Contamination. Where's the contamination from? That water was up here. Everything that was in the water, including caskets and bodies that were buried, became floating up. It was all one big soupy mess. And we're going to be walking on ground that more than likely is contaminated. So being prepared. If we get a rainstorm in there, there can be a lot of lightning, so you got to be aware of that. But again, being self-sufficient about everything, you'll see why I have rain gear in here. And by the way, if it is raining down there, you will see it in a minute. I didn't do it on this one because I knew I was going to be pulling things out here. But I want you to consider taking and putting your clothing into 5-gallon bags inside your bag. Anybody familiar with Houston? Been there once too. Oh, hot. Yes. Smelly hot. It's a big petroleum place, so you'll get some petroleum. That's another contaminant that's also probably on the grounds that we'll be working with, or on the sheetrock that we'll be tearing down. Falling material is the number one thing that will kill you. Did you all know that? Even a sheetrock will hurt you a lot, which is the reason why I recommend a bump cap if we're inside of a building somewhere. Wind and rain obviously is going to loosen up some stuff, and of course when you're doing debris removal, inevitably somebody's going to get injured or hurt. And by the way, the number one rule with a scratch or anything, you have to report it so that we know. I would recommend that you look at your shot records and make sure you're up on your tetanus, because chances are you're going to get a boo-boo. There's no doubt about that. Eye and head injuries are very, very common, which is the reason why we're going to wear that. We're also going to wear safety glasses or safety goggles. Just go down to Walmart and buy the cheapy clear ones that can protect your eyes, because that'll come into play for really protecting your eyes. And then, of course, obviously good hemp. Imodium is going to be your friend. Anti-diarrheal, guaranteed. The other part that is a danger to us is heat exhaustion, or you're sweating too much profusely. You're about to walk into humidity, and I mean humidity. So you need to be prepping for that early on, which is why I'm going to show you a different line of shirts that you might want to consider. Most of us out here, as I'm looking, are mostly wearing natural fibers, cotton. Those don't work well in that environment. Which is why jeans are not a good option of choice, which is why something with parachute pants, or and the reason why I picked these is because I just carry a lot of stuff in my pockets, but they breathe very, very well. If you have allergies to either foods or items, you need to make us aware of it so that we will know if you have an EpiPen or whatever else to be able to administer that for you. Please, if you're taking medications, please take a good portion of meds with you. But I recommend everybody be in somewhat decent shape. We're not going to go in there and just break our tails, trust me. We're going to go down there and enjoy this trip too, and be able to help some folks. Let's talk about the bags. If you'll notice here, what I have in front of you are two different bags. One bag is considered your big bag, which is what you want to keep your weight requirements anyway, because of the way we're traveling. You want to keep it to right around about 68 pounds. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at a go bag here, typical deployment bag. Obviously, you're going to take your hygiene kit. Inside here, I have everything else that I need, including my medications. So you're going to have your toiletry bag, basically. I'm recommending that everybody get your own little medical kit. It's a basic one. You get this at Walmart. You can also get one that's about half this size. It has everything you need in order to take care of all your boo-boos that you're going to see. You'll see some scratches and some nicks on your body. Another thing I carry is I always carry laundry soap, but fortunately for us, there should be a Baptist disaster laundry unit there. I don't know if you know about their capabilities, but they provide child care services. They provide laundry and shower capability, and they also do feeding. And so they're kind of an all-risk group now. The other thing I always carry is several trash bags for various reasons. Get in a wet environment, or I simply, like I was telling you, where I've got to take my boots and put them in there for the night, I'll do that. Everybody should be drinking water. I don't care how many times we got to stop to take a bathroom break. It's good. You know you're completely hydrated when you have to pee every 15 minutes. You need to remember that we are not only losing water via our waste systems, but with each breath we're losing water, and then some of us will be losing it topically out of our things here. Because I guarantee you we're going to be dripping with sweat. DEET, 35% or greater. Everybody got that? I like the pump one because I don't like the spray one, because I don't like breathing it in at the same time. So I want something I can have more control of. I want to predominantly wear this on my outer clothing. I don't really want to get it on my skin a whole lot, but if I have to, I will. Because, you know, those nasty creatures can have a way to get in there somewhere. Part of my other big bag here is I recommend that everybody just go ahead and get yourselves a couple of nice little handkerchiefs. They come in handy a lot if I'm thinking that we're working in an area where there's a tremendous amount of dust, and I don't want to toast my N95 too bad. The other thing I carry is, and by the way, here's a simple little N95, real easy. The other thing that I do is I have two different types of gloves. I have a leather glove, which as you know, doesn't work well in water. So the other thing that I always carry is I always carry these that have the rubberized grip. They come in handy because not only are they easy to clean, but they're very inexpensive. The other thing I recommend is that we have a signaling device. Oh, that was a basic whistle. The other thing I carry is I carry these really simple little ear protectors. Because if we're working chainsaws, and I don't know about you, but I spent 20 years listening to sirens. I don't have to mess any more of the high-pitched stuff up in my ears. And so I recommend a good set of, this is that little device that I turn to the on position and I put it near electrical source and it goes off. It lets me know that that's an energized line. I mentioned multi-purpose tools. This is what I recommend that you keep on your hip.
Yeah, Leatherman.
Gerber, okay, I don't use Leatherman. The reason why I use Gerber is it's German made and so it's better material, better aluminum grade, but it's got the wire cutters, nail, everything else, and then every other blade and other tools that you can possibly think of. But remember, they're generally pretty sharp, so they're designed to stay on you. Carry an extra pair of shoes. Like I said, my dogs don't want to be sweating and wet all the time, and so you want to keep this. So you've got your downtime. The other thing I did was I went ahead and threw in clothing. So I went ahead and figured, okay, BDUs are probably the best bet because they don't hold that material. And you can get these pretty easily. So I do recommend a cargo pant or BDU type, whatever. Okay, the other thing is a towel. Why is this important? This is my night gear and also my go to the shower thing, you know. I just want to relax and just get wet, dirty stuff off of me. By the way, I mentioned that the news media is probably going to be on you. And so whoever the public information, I was hoping it's Joe Cook, realize that we are representational of the Navajo Christian Church. Do we understand that? So we want to make sure that we're projecting the right thing. The other thing I recommend, and I talked to Chuck about it, that if we do go to a team shirt, I totally recommend the synthetics. They wick out moisture. And so if we go to one, you can pick these up pretty cheap, and they breathe. That's the thing that you want, they breathe. One of the other things too is, like I said, I mentioned that I have a day bag. This is my day bag for out in the field. You know, there's my mosquito and my sunscreen. By the way, don't get the oil-based one, sunscreen. Go ahead and get the one that's more powder-based, because otherwise you'll sweat out like crazy. Flashlights are invaluable, so you've got to have multiple flashlights. I do have, yes, in order to make the Leatherman people feel great, I do have my second Leatherman there. I do have my hand sanitizer that I carry with me, and then the other thing I recommended was these FRS radios, low band, low frequency. I carry all kinds of writing material because I want to make mental notes to myself. Also, I do carry goodies, like I'll carry like a granola type mix or something that'll give me some quick little energy. The other thing is a light poncho. And I like the ponchos because I can use it for multiple purposes. Not only does it keep my body dry, but let's say that my bag's laying out there somewhere and I just need to just drape it. The other thing that I recommend is that you'll have two different types of, and I like to take a bag, and I mostly use my bag. I use my sleeping bag is like a ground pad. And so what I'll do is I'll roll it out. And down there you're only going to need the medium weathered one, not very cold. Doesn't get cold down there. But what I'll do is, I love this one because this also rolls up. And this is also like a little, I can climb inside this thing and use that. Now I'm assuming every church down there has refrigerated air. And I know some churches, they like to keep it cold. And I love it cold. And so the colder the better. Bump cap, typical, you can go down anywhere and get one. Now the last thing is, you have your option, and I talked to the church down there, and you have your option of rolling with a cot, which is what this is. Very similar to military style, but a little bit easier because they tend to go up a lot easier. Or you can go with a air-up configuration. So your choice. So you got to remember, just because we're in a city doesn't mean it's not dangerous. Now I'm more fearful of the two-legged animals than I am anything else. because I know humanity can be very, very ugly, and we saw that play out in Las Vegas, Nevada. Team safety with regards to somebody that says, give me your money. Yeah, give me your money. Remember, our mission is to go home, right? And just be very, very polite, don't escalate anything, de-escalate the situation. Just give it to them. Now, the other thing you want to carry with you is your Indian health card, because I believe there's an Indian health facility there. But if we need medical attention, I'll take you to the nearest DMAT, and I can guarantee you I can get you treated.